Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. In this series, you'll learn web application architecture. All code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
Talked about first web application architecture. Some J2E concept because the web service that I'm talking about, this web service is fully based on Java-based web service, right? So if you are not in Java J2E domain, then also you can get the details. Since we are talking about the web service based on Java J2E point of view, so try to focus something on Java basics, and then we'll move on the web service side, right? Okay. So we'll do some introductory discussion here. Okay, then after that we try to focus something on XML and JSON and basics on web service, right? So this is the flow. We'll move step by steps, right? So this is the things that how I'll move, and in between you'll find that whatever in our curriculum, everything is being completed, right? Okay. Okay, I'm using simple notepad initially. Okay. So here I've just written the web application architecture from Java J2E point of view. Fine. Okay. 3-tier architecture. So I think if you can make about 3-tier architecture, web application architecture. 3-tier architecture means web application architecture means any web application, Java J2E based web application, how it actually run. And so based on 3-tier means first we have this client tier, then we have middle tier, then we have EIS tier. The other 3 tiers is used for web application work. Fine. So the client tier means the tier with which client is interacting. So I'm interacting with an Yahoo page, login page. I'm interacting with Yahoo page, login page. The page I'm going to interact with, the user interface I'm going to interact with, that is called the UI layer. So UI layer generally it comes with .html, .jsp, .jspx. Sometimes if you're working on an Oracle application framework, .xml is used to create the UI layer. Okay. So UI layer is that layer with which client is going to interact with. Fine. So in the UI layer, you'll find some of the advanced framework currently like AngularJS, EXTJS, right? That is used on the UI layer. Fine. Okay. Now in the middle tier contains some server. Middle tier contains some server. Fine. So here we have some server. So middle tier server can be divided into 2 parts. One is called web server. Again, I'm saying I'm talking about Java J2E point of view. So web server and application server. So middle tier content server. 2 types of server is there. One is called web server, another is called application server. Okay. So web server, examples of web server like can say Tomcat. Then we have web server Oracle HTTP server. Right. These are examples of web server. Then you can add Apache server. Examples of web server, right? Whereas examples of application server that we used in the middle tier, examples of application server like we have JBoss, we have WebLogic. So JBoss is from Red Hat. WebLogic is it was earlier with BS Systems. Currently it is with Oracle. You see Oracle WebLogic. Current version is 12c. Or we have some other application servers like, tell me, IBM WebSphere, right? Okay. Glassfish is also there. Fine. So in the middle tier, we have server. So either web server or application server, right? Okay. Now in the middle tier, what is the difference between these two types of server, right? So web server is used to execute some web component. It is used to execute some web component like servlet, JSP, and then bin. These are the web component is used to execute servlet, right? SERVLET. It's used to execute by the web server or web container. Fine. A application server is used to execute some application component, generally like EJB, ADF-BC, BC4J. Then Spring BC. I've added some example. EJB full name is Enterprise Java Bin. Current version is 3.x. ADF-BC full name, it's an ADF-BC full name is Application Development Framework Business Component. It's an Oracle business component. It's one type application component. Current version is 12c. BC4J full name is Business Component for Java. This business component is used in our Oracle application called Oracle ERP application. It is used this application component. Spring BC already you know, this is full name Spring business component. This is another application component. Fine. But for Spring BC you don't need application server. But I'm talking about the application component that is used. This is an examples of application component. This is an examples of web component. Fine. Okay. Now on the EIS tier, let me see some points on the EIS tier. EIS tier full name is Enterprise Java. EIS tier full name is EIS tier, it's a logical name. Logical name means some concept. Full name is Enterprise Information System. So it's a logical name. Logical name inheritance is a logical name. So same like it's a logical name, it's pointing to some data source. Data source means from where some data will come. It may be a database, or it may be an ERP application, or it may be a CRM application, or it may be it's coming from a data source. So EIS tier is pointing to some data source from where I'll get contain some data source from where some work in Java J2 environment. You will get this is the basics structure, right? Okay. Now in the web server, I'm using some web component. What I'll do using this web component, I'm going to write some business logic, right? Here also I have some application component. This application component is executed with the help of this application server. What I'm going to do with this application component, I'm going to write some business logic, right? Okay. Now the thing is that I'm using this web component to write some business logic. In general, I'm talking about, not going to specific application. An application component I'm going to use to write some business logic. Now the question is, why I need two types of component? One component I'm using for web server, another type of component I'm using for application server. Question is, why I need two types of application component? Why we need two types of application component, right? Okay, if you just see this here. So I'm talking about